G'day everyone, welcome to my recommend series where I will talk about games that I like and I think you should play. Today we're talking about 12 Minutes. 12 Minutes is a game about a man stuck in a time loop.
Fuck you.
You're forced to relive the same evening in your apartment over and over again and must unravel the mysterious circumstances of your situation. Developed by Luis Antonio and published by Annapurna Interactive, 12 Minutes is a point-and-click adventure game with a time-travelling twist. I'm going to recommend it to you, with a big, fat caveat. The game is fun to play, but when you've finished it, it might leave you with a bad taste in your mouth. If you like the sound of the game and you're interested by what you've seen so far, stop here. I won't spoil the game completely until the last part of this episode, but the less you know about 12 Minutes going into it, the better your time will be.
What's the occasion?
I'll tell you over dessert.
Still here? Good. Let's rip into it. Today I'm going to talk about why I'm recommending 12 Minutes, even though it left me feeling unpleasant. "12 Minutes has gameplay that's really simple. You move your cursor around the environment and interact with objects and people. You have an inventory where you can store items, combine items together, or drag items out to use them with the environment.
New Year's Eve, 8 years ago.
Essentially, it feels like an escape the room game. Gameplay never really gets more advanced than that. Gameplay doesn't have to be advanced though. A lot of Annapurna Interactive games are carried by their aesthetic or their story. Journey, Kentucky Route Zero, Donut County, and Flower all have simple and fun mechanics in addition to a wonderful aesthetic and/or a top-notch story. That is an important trifecta to remember. Simple or fun mechanics, wonderful aesthetic, and top-notch story. 12 Minutes has each of these three ingredients, but unfortunately, one of them is rotten.
Handcuff me, we can talk this out.
Jesus Christ.
As mentioned, 12 Minutes has simple and fun gameplay, but it's not perfect. Moving around is stiff and a bit awkward. Using and highlighting objects isn't especially snappy either. Using items isn't even audibly or kinetically very satisfying. A contextually sensitive cursor here, or more intuitive environmental interaction, like in a Quantic Dream game, could work here. Nonetheless, the gameplay is simple, and with the addition of the time loop mechanic and repeating every evening in your apartment, it is fun at times.
Are you coming?
The aesthetic is unique, and sometimes striking.
Milady? It's been a while, huh?
I cannot remember the last time we danced.
A top-down perspective blends well with soft lighting, colour and crisp, detailed models. Motion-capped animation is affecting when it works, but expect some jank and clipping issues. The light, musical score and Foley work is a highlight of the sound design. Foley and the effects sell the apartment and its contents as a real physical space, and the score is never too intrusive and it gently sets the mood at the right time. Vocal mixing does take a little bit of adjusting to. Characters sound and feel as though they're speaking right into your ear, even though you're way up above their heads from a bird's eye perspective.
Guess who made dessert? Let me know when you're in the mood.
Didn't you already say that?
What?
I don't know.
I want to note that the vocals themselves are a mixed bag.
How is this possible?
It's impressive that they've snagged Daisy Ridley, James McAvoy, and Willem Dafoe, but I feel as though they're not utilised to their fullest.
What? Me?
Individual performances are great, given the writing,
Wait.
but for having three absolute A-listers, there is a distinct lack of chemistry between the characters.
But please, if you...
Enough. You're under arrest.
Will you have to listen to me.
No, I do not.
Honey,
Please.
No, I do not.
I'm confident you can boil that down to recording in isolation and having no face or motion capture. Ridley, McAvoy, and Defoe are great performers, but great performance is a union of voice, expression, and physicality. Without performing in the same room as someone, or adding motion, or facial capture, you'll always be capturing just a fraction of a performance.
And something that's dynamic.
that's the best you can do?
It's been over 20 years. What do you expect? I barely remember her. It was so long ago.
A fraction of a spectacular performance is still good, but in 12 minutes, the voices of these actors are projected onto other performers that have done the motion capture. So you get some stilted timing and an off-kilter feel to the interactions between characters.
I was hundreds of miles away.
Show me.
On the fridge. Please, look.
Don't move.
Nope. No photo. That's enough.
The game sounds like it was done with automated dialogue replacement, which is a process in editing a film where you get actors to re-record their lines over a finished shot.
And my mother's dead.
Now shut up.
That's enough. Hold still.
I get it would be complex, difficult, and expensive to have even just motion capture for these three, but I would have greatly preferred if they cut the A-list talent and used actors who could do full mocap and voice performance, so we get an improvement on that chemistry and timing and the feeling of interaction between the characters in the world.
Open that door.
Come on, it could be anyone.
This isn't it. No, I'm serious. Please, don't open that door. It's important.
This isn't funny, babe.
We know Defoe would definitely be up for it.
My name is Nathan. Nathan Dawkins. I thought it would be a good idea for us to have a little chat, get to know each other a little better.
For all my whinging though, the actors do a solid job with the material that they're given, and they should be credited for being involved in the game at all. We need more of that sort of talent being interested in these sort of projects to bolster gaming's standard as a medium for good performances. Ultimately, the visual and sound aesthetic in 12 minutes is great, even if I have to nitpick a little bit the use of vocal talent. But still, I'm haunted by the feeling that these three Hollywood stars feel like wasted potential.
Fault. Not like you've been lying. Look.
You're blaming me now?
No, I mean,
That's it. I never want to see you again.
I should have told you. I know that, but he was trying to kill me. It was self-defense.
Wasted potential. That leads us nicely into the rot that is 12 minutes story. If there was ever a game plagued by bad writing, this is it. Because the gameplay is simple, and the aesthetic is pleasant but not groundbreaking, 12 minutes is carried by its central mystery, and the questions that you'll ask yourself along the way. Like, why are you stuck in the time loop? How does the time loop work? What motivates the violent cop that bursts into your apartment? Why is he after your wife?
Guy's a goddamn ox.
Every answer to these driving, motivating questions will disappoint you. Now, it is serious spoiler time. Stop here if you ever plan to play the game. There is an excellent moment, maybe halfway through your playthrough, where you know that your wife is innocent of her father's murder, and you also know what the violent intruder wants from her. From there, you can figure out how to prevent the cop/antagonist from ever knocking on your apartment door. If you play along, you get to have a romantic dinner with your wife. She announces the pregnancy. You and her are both excited. You dance while the storm rages outside, and eventually you retire to your bed for a loving embrace, and then...
I really love you, you know?
I do know. I really. What? No. No. What else do I? I did everything right. I did everything right.
Excellent. That is a twist. The happy ending there that you were expecting is not actually the ending to the game. there's more to the mystery and more to the time travel mechanic that needs to be discovered and unraveled in order to break the loop. You are forced to delve deeper into the story. Unfortunately, the twists don't stop coming.
Hello?
Okay, let's talk.
The violent cop who breaks in isn't a cop. He's a friend of your wife's father, who is also your father because your wife is your half-sister, because your mother is her nanny, who her father had an affair with, making you the secret half-brother, and your wife is pregnant, and your father's friend's daughter has cancer, but he's not actually a cop. He keeps breaking into your apartment to steal an heirloom which belonged to your wife's father to pay for his daughter's cancer treatment, and your father, who you killed, but initially your wife thought that she killed him, and you thought she killed her father, but that was after your wife tried to kill him separately, that you killed him, which happened to be on the day that you met, which was also the day that you actually killed her father. What a clusterfuck. This was a story in desperate need of an experienced writer or a savage editor. In any story, revelations and twists are powerful because they recontextualize relationships, motivations, and events. 12 Minutes has too many twists, too often. Twists and revelations need room to settle and breathe. Towards the end of the game, every new time loop you play through in your apartment brings a new, more absurd revelation to bear.
There was a baby. A boy.
A baby. I knew about the affair, but he never mentioned a child. Her name was Dahlia.
Why are you saying this? Is this some kind of sick
please,
joke?
God.
This is funny to you?
She was my mother.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
Fucking radioactive, you know that? Just you existing killed my wife. Your mother, too. Pregnant. You got your sister pregnant. We just can't ignore that.
We'll keep it. And she doesn't need to know.
Stupid!
The tragedy of 12 Minutes story is that it is ripe with potential, but gets spoiled by excessive twists and sour endings. Imagine going through all of the twists that I just mentioned and then arriving at the ending of the game where you can make several choices. Imagine my disappointment when the choices boil down to, and then I woke up, and then I forgot everything, or, and then it was all in my imagination. That's what left me with a bad taste in my mouth. Being hooked with a mysterious story in a game that had a unique mechanic, quality actors, and a distinctive aesthetic. But the final third, it's all spoiled by bad writing.
Fuck it.
I reached the hypnosis ending, which was painfully ambiguous. It was difficult for me to interpret if I was being hypnotized in order to forget my experience of the game, or forget the revelation of marrying and having a child with my half-sister, or being involved in the murder of my father, even though that particular murder hadn't actually played out, because this is one of the scenes that could end with the murder of the father. And there's so many other smaller frustrating setups that just never pay off. The tragedy of 12 Minutes is the first 2/3 are fun and genuinely engrossing. Remember our Annapurna trifecta that we talked about? 12 Minutes has simple, fun gameplay with a time travel mechanical twist. It has unique, eye-catching aesthetics and presentation that's bolstered by Hollywood vocal performances. And it appears to have a top-notch story, but towards the back end, the wheels just fall off, and at the end of the journey, you're left feeling misled and dissatisfied.
May you know peace and joy.
Lerner and Antonio have not written a coherent, satisfying story here. What writing they have done has been carried by exceptional vocal performances and an intriguing premise. If it feels like I'm being relentlessly critical, it's because I am. Criticism is easy, and I'm a middle-aged dude that makes video essays for YouTube, so I can only punch upwards. I don't have an elegant solution to the problem that is the endings and overall plot of 12 Minutes. And ultimately, I'm still going to recommend the game. I'm recommending it because Luis Antonio and the team around him have delivered a creative, independent, and unusual game that should be celebrated. Celebrated even with all its faults.
I just need some time to myself. Come on, babe, please, stop it. Just go somewhere else, please.
The image and the acting and the storytelling, it's all these things coming together in an harmony that allows it to really grow. And I've always been fascinated by that. One night I was like, imagine we had like these amazing actors, or imagine we have a composer doing a score. Imagine we bring this to this other level. And Apurna, I spoke with them very early on. We always wanted to work together. And they were like, yeah, man, let's try that.
You coward!
A few weeks later, you showed up and, well...
Although I was disappointed with the ending and the answers to some of those key questions, I think you should give this game a try.
Never thought I'd say that out loud. And now you know.
That's it for today. I recommend 12 minutes. Thanks for listening. Take care.